want to kick it with my homie about some hip hop. You know, we're going to touch on a range of subjects. You know, I want to go back to talking about the greatest diss.
Okay. Okay.
To Kendrick Lamar and the Drake situation and the state of hip hop.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. All right. We there.
Now, what is the greatest diss record, in your opinion, in hip hop? And why?
I mean, I think currently for me, it gotta be. I mean, it gotta be Kendrick's diss towards Drake as far as that part. Not necessarily. I like with Euphoria as well too, but you know, when he came out with Not Like Us, it just had he just spoke to the culture more. You see what I'm saying? So that's my reason why from that point. Um, and it's and in the midst of that, only Kendrick did the only way that Kendrick could do it. Like nobody could do it this way. Like he gave you a history lesson in the midst of that of like how you went from colonization and how you associate with colonizers from this way. Like what other rapper do you know that's saying that and it's on point, like it's factual from this aspect of it. And
Yeah.
he's commercial enough to say the masses that I can get from this point, like, listen, dude, like you're not what you portray to be. So don't be that. You know what I'm saying? And if you're gonna come this way with hip hop is more it's more than what this stuff of, you know, I got my Maybach, I got the bitches, I got that, I got this and that, blah blah blah. That's just plug and play. Everybody's talking that same stuff from this point, you know? And it has to be a true diss record, have to be personal because it comes off, you hear it. I mean, before that, to me, No Vaseline was probably like the best, you know, diss record from
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? Like it was personal, you know what I'm saying? You heard that pain and Ice Cube voice, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what, like, come on now, you know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm glad y'all set it off, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? From the
hey,
door when he come with that line, I'm like, oh man. And then and when you came from that generation, you love all of them. You see what I'm
right,
saying? You understood that part of NWA. You was a part of that. Like, so it wasn't like you was like, oh man, taking sides from this point, but you understood his reasoning for leaving. Like,
right, right.
okay, now don't come at me like this and it's that part. So yeah, man. So for me with the state of hip hop now, um, I think some of it's okay. A lot of it's okay. You know, um, I can kind of get off the fact of all of the propaganda of, you know, the capitalistic side of all this type of stuff. It's like, all
Hmm.
right, man, we done been there, we heard that, get it. Okay, how many cars can you talk about? How many houses can you talk about? How many women can you talk about that you slept with? Yada yada yada. What substance are you bringing to the table? You know what I'm saying from that point. So yeah, that's what that is for me, bro. What about you?
Well,
That's this.
I'm gonna disagree with you on the No Vaseline. I love the record though. I loved it.
Okay,
And
okay,
the funny thing is, Hit 'Em Up for me is better than that. And I was listening
okay.
to Ice Cube go around and say why he feel like No Vaseline is better, and he said Pac needed help. I'm like,
Mm,
no, bro, he was just introducing the outlaws to the world.
true.
And I
That's true.
said, and even
I
in the
hear
song, he says, I don't even know why I'm on this track. I'm gonna let my little homies ride on you.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But my greatest diss track is When We Ride on Our Enemies by Pac.
Why did I forget about that one?
And,
Okay, all right, all right.
and the reason why I can't give it to No Vaseline is because Cube, at that time it came out, like you said, we understood why he did it. We
Yeah,
understood. And NWA was like the super gangster group.
right.
But you gotta realize, Easy wasn't a rapper, Dre isn't a rapper,
Right.
Yella isn't a rapper, MC Ran, that was my dog. I bought his little EP, but he was the sidekick. You
Exactly.
know,
Yeah.
so Cube,
Yeah.
when Cube left, he killed the group when he left because
That's
he was
true.
the writer and the lyricist.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. That's true.
you know, No Vaseline is still in my top five,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
But now I got to jump on board with this. Not like us. The
Yeah.
impact.
Yeah, I agree.
And, Drake is crying about bots were used and this. I'm like, bruh, the impact that this song had worldwide, bots couldn't replicate that.
Yeah, I
You know what
agree.
I'm saying? And like you said, he gave you a history lesson
Yeah.
inside of a diss record,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
then it was a bop.
Yeah, right. Right, exactly. Right. How do you do that? Like people are still trying to figure out that that chemistry. You see what I'm saying? Because some people can't even do one well. You see what I'm saying? Like you have people who are like how we like in how generations work. Like this person was considered a conscious rapper, or this
Yeah.
person was considered a gangster rapper, and this person, so we put them into these boxes already from what that was. And the reality of it is just that Kendrick was able to give you all of that.
Yeah.
But that just goes to his brevity, man, of just how dope he is as he's truly an artist. So there's a difference between somebody being a rapper and somebody truly being an artist,
A
right? Like, you know what I'm saying?
lyricist.
Yeah,
Yeah.
very much so. Like, so
Let me ask you a
he's,
question.
go ahead.
How long have you been familiar with Kendrick's work?
I go way back with Kendrick. I go back to what swimming pools, all the rest of that type of stuff. But like, I mean, always was a fan of Kendrick. Probably one of my most favorite songs of Kendrick's is I got several, but probably the most recent one. Like, what's the name was dope. I think people jumped on that from this point with the disc and everything. But when he came out with that "Count Me Out," um, that was the what he talks about that in that way, man. It really just resonated with me as an
Okay.
adult at that point. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I love when you count me out. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've gone through my stuff and um, of course, it's the album to have loyalty and humble and all that on it as well too was just dope from this point. But I love that he always talked from a therapist perspective. I love he always talked about where he's at, his mental health aspect and emotionally coming from an urban environment and being honest and truthful about that. It wasn't sugarcoating that type of stuff. And so it's something to me. I mean, I'm a hip hop fan always, but it's something about LA rappers, man, to me. Like,
Yeah. Yeah.
it's something about the dudes go out west. Um, like New York has always had that. When we were coming up, it was like New York is known for lyricists, right? Like, okay, from this point. And then when gangster rap came in with NWA and everything else like that. But before that, we had Spice One and all these dudes from, from Cali who were just like, man, this shit is raw. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
it's just rap. Even if people want to knock Hammer from this point in time, but if you listen, people listen to Hammer. Like, Hammer had like, Hammer was dope. You feel me? And I know people look like, oh, he's that my Hammer. Bro, if you really pay attention to what Hammer did, man, how he took his from Oakland from this way and did that from that point, it was amazing, man. So people wanted to diss him, but you really was dissing him because you really want to be like him. And you know what I'm saying? A lot of these rappers want to be like him from that point. So yeah, so when you ask me about Kendrick's work from that way, yeah, I'm a Kendrick fan. So I go back. I go back with Kendrick on some of that. Yeah.
And see, I didn't catch on to Kendrick. See, I knew more about Drake. When it comes to the rappers of today,
Mhm.
J. Cole was my guy.
Yeah, that's my guy too. Yeah, 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 yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
But I didn't know too much about Kendrick. I ain't gonna lie. I knew about swimming pools, and I was like, oh, that's a nice song. And I
Yeah.
knew about Drake because my children play Drake. They was playing Drake. But when I was looking at reaction channels on YouTube and dude says, "Oh man, Kendrick dropped," I'm like, yeah, okay, like it's okay. Let me check it out. I listened to that control. I mean, not the control verse, but the that like that with a Future and Metro Boomin. I'm like, oh damn, this dude snapping.
Yeah,
And then
yeah.
I started listening to say, oh man, is Drake gonna respond? I'm like, oh shit, we got a beef. You know,
Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, you know,
I'm
set
like, we
up, right?
got
Yeah,
beef.
yeah,
And so when Drake dropped push-ups, I was like, oh bruh, he hit you in the head with this, right? And I was like, when Kendrick finally responded, I was like you
yeah.
told. I mean, Euphoria, in my opinion, is the toughest song out the whole hookup.
Euphoria, yeah, he does it because it's thought provoking. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Thought provoking. Now, and I will say this though, like I'm a Drake fan too. Like, so
Okay.
I've known how to separate the two between, I think a younger generation, this is new to them. Like we've come out of the Tupac, Biggie
Yeah.
beef, you know what I'm saying? We've come out of NWA and what's the name's beef. We've come out of the fact of like, Jay-Z and Nas beef, you know what I'm saying, from this
Nas.
point in time. So
Yeah.
we've had that point in our generation of like, choosing a side of like, okay, this was better than this. But the disc is better, right? Like a person knows how to dish you better from this point in time. But we have to understand, like I like Drake is sweet when it comes down to metaphors and everything. Like I like Drake. Drake is sweet in some ways. You just wasn't ready for Kendrick on that space. Like you're not ready for him on that way.
Yeah.
And you can respect both of the artists. And maybe that took me time as I matured, just as a person, to be able to accept those type of things. Like, we don't want it to get to the point to where, because with Tupac and Biggie both dying, it just took so much away from us from the
Yeah.
art of it. You know what I'm
Early
saying?
on, we lost two
Yeah,
young brothers that would have really made an impact on the game.
on the game, very much so, and also in our lives. And you look back like, man, you really want to see how they was going to succeed, how they became fathers, how they would have matured from this point in time.
Yeah.
And let's hope that that doesn't get to that point. Let's keep those things studio
Yeah.
perspective. Let's keep it in the genre of music from this point in time. So yeah, man. But the state of hip hop now, I think. I mean, I'm like you. I'm a huge J. Cole fan, though. You see what I'm saying? Like J. Cole is just dope to me, and I really respect that J. Cole stepped out of that beef. I have a lot of respect on that. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because it was like, you know what, man, what am I doing here? And I think that's the maturity that not a lot of people not speaking towards. Because younger people was like, oh yeah, he ain't want that smoke, he ain't want that smoke. It's like, no, I think he's just more mature and be like, yeah, this ain't really what it is, man. To me, because
Yeah.
like I'm a fan of his for years, and I think it was more from that point, like, nah, man, we don't need to be doing this. And I'm about to get started into something that, no, it ain't about not wanting no smoke. It's just like, no, man, you kind of move forward. Yeah.
And you know what, bro? I think J. Cole understood that this battle was personal between them two.
Yep, exactly.
You
Yep.
know, I think what grew from just because, man, I binge listened to Kendrick after, when this battle started, then just catching up on people talking about Kendrick, who is he, and the whole nine. I'm like, man, I really did a deep dive off into him to see who he is.
Yep.
And
Yep.
man, thought provoking, right?
Yep.
Like when we talk about rap, most people growing up, favorite rap group was Run DMC, right?
Yep.
My favorite was UTFO because, you
You
know,
caught up
m-
CFO.
yeah, man, because you had them using them big words.
It was
It's
layered,
like,
and it was
man,
layered.
being a nerd is cool.
Yep. No, no, I agree with you on that one. But dang, I heard UTFO in a minute. Um, I think it seems like you said old school rap group for me, and I know we may be all over the place, but I just want to.
No,
I
no,
was
man,
always a
we
Houdini
talking about
fan.
hip hop.
Yeah, yeah, I was a Houdini fan, like old
Okay.
school. Probably one of my favorite. And I was telling somebody this the other day. One of my favorite rappers back in the day. I mean, I had a lot. We had a lot of them. But I was a Heavy D fan, man. Like
Oh my God, that's
Heavy D
my
was my
guy.
Heavy D don't get the props that he really deserved, man,
That's
from hip hop from this way.
he
Like,
was Biggie before Biggie.
yeah, he was before, yeah, and he was fun. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So it was this big dude who could dance, and but if you listen to his raps, like it just made you. We was at overweight lovers in the house. You know what I'm saying? Like what I mean? Like, and it made you. It was romantic in the way that like almost through we learning like okay how we dating a girl, how to kind of light the candles and put the wine and you know what I'm saying. And we in our 20s getting that
and,
from
and he
this
and he made it smooth.
pretty smooth. Yeah, it
Yeah.
was smooth. So for us, it was just this smooth part. Now, like I say, I mean, I had a bunch of other people that I really liked from that point in time. Like right now, like I don't know how you feel about this, but Jay-Z is probably my favorite rapper.
Okay.
Jay-Z is definitely hands down. Jay-Z is my guy. And that goes back for me from now, if I got somebody who I really follow from that point, like from reasonable doubt all the way, to currently from this point. And I like what I really started wanting Jay to do, he did it. Was like, okay, get off of the rest of that stuff that everybody else is talking about. Like you're married now, you got to talk about you made it
He grew
successful.
up.
Talk about business. You grow up. And because your audience is not these, we don't want to hear about, we don't want to hear about the Bentley and all this type of stuff no more. We want to hear like, you can add it in there. We get it, but you got some money, blah, blah, blah. But when he came out with 444, it was like, yeah, man, grow up. Like I nearly lost my wife, bro. Everything that came from this point, grow up. Right. And so I like that part because it's much more a mature rap because
Okay.
that's what we have now. You know what I'm saying? Like I want somebody to talk about our issues as we get older. And because we still feel like we part of that. You know what I'm saying? We still are a
Yeah.
part of hip hop. So the other stuff, some of the other stuff, I like some of it's crazy you say that's because one of the rappers I'm feeling right now who's younger, I've been listening to some Gunna lately. And I'm like, I kind of like this
Okay.
dude, man. I kind of
Okay.
like him, man. You know what I'm saying? Um, and yeah, it was kind of interesting from that point. But yeah, but to go back to Kendrick's, I'm looking at the album right there at this point. Yeah, he didn't hold up for nobody when he was like Wayne, you can come get it too. You know what I'm saying? Like as much as I used to like you and everything else from that point, if you want this because of the Super Bowl, you can get it too. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
Mm-hmm.
damn, he ain't holding up for nobody on this. He letting everybody have it, which I respect because in that generation, like it's like sport. We came from sports. Like I'm the best. You feel me? And if you want to come after me, I'm about to show all of y'all that I'm the best.
And there's
That's
nothing
that
wrong with competition.
competition. Nothing wrong with competition. So I like that part, man. He made it. It's a sport. It's the sport.
And there's a new cat. Well, he's new to me, but I think he's kind of newer. But his name is JID, Jid.
I haven't heard of him.
And
No.
bruh, peep his work. Matter of fact,
I'm
he sounds like Kendrick.
really okay.
Man,
Okay.
lyrical, and he, and the thing is, he has so much voice control. So it's not, see, Drake to me is just so monotone, and
Yeah.
man, even when he's singing, he sounds the same as he rapping. You know what I'm saying? But
Right. Right.
just like
Right.
Kendrick, the Jid, that young cat, man, he has the inflections, the pitch, slow it down, speed it up, and he offers that in a package and in all his music. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, damn. And just to hear the clips come out and bang on them.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I
Yeah. The
like
clip.
lyrics and I like people that write their shit.
Me too. Yep,
That's what
that's
I
the
like.
part. Yeah, me too. Like it goes back to what you just said. I'm big on the artists. Like I like artistry. I like people
Right.
who,
Okay.
own their craft, like, put in the work and know the history of your craft. And that's one thing I love about even when Kendrick won that Grammy from that point when he came out, and he was like, I'm an artist. And to win this from in a rap category, to have these type of sales and have this a rapper hold down a Super Bowl from that way, you know that's what we talking about as far as when it comes down to true hip hop from this way. It's like I like those people who are conscious about the artistry. And that's anything for me, whether that's a painter, whether that's a person who's a writer, you know what I'm saying? Like it's something about the beautiful part of art to me. And I
Yeah.
think maybe that's because I've raised kids that are artists from this point. And maybe inside of my heart, I'm a closet artist in some sort of way, like, you know what I'm saying, in regards to the artistic value, not a singer or a rapper or anything else like that. But I can appreciate good art. Like I
Yeah.
love that.
Oh
You know
yeah.
what I'm saying? When you see some emotional stuff and you can hear like I remember a friend of mine I was dating at the time, and she kept asking me like, "Why are you play that Kind of Blue album from Miles Davis so much?" And I'm like, I say, just listen to it sometime. Like
Yeah.
whether whatever you're doing, just chilling, just one time, just let it rock, and you will hear in that trumpet like everybody tried to knock Miles that he wasn't a person because he was womanized and all the rest type of stuff. But it's like, man, if you listen to what how he plays that trumpet, And that on that album from that point, you can tell that's a man who is hurt by love and loves love, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just haven't figured it out though. You feel me? Like, because and as a man, we got to walk in two different worlds. Like, you got to be this tough provider and do the things like this, but you want to love and be loved that way and to give it. But we don't live in a world that really teaches us how to do that, particularly as a black man from that point. So that trumpet was that for him. And man, it's just like, and she was like, I never thought about, like, you really put thought into that. And I'm like, yeah, man, it's just something about it, you know. And I think that goes back for me playing and, you know, I played in the band and Nolan and, you know what I'm saying, and stuff like that, learn an instrument. And when you learn how to play an instrument, you know, you appreciate the artistry of stuff. Like, you know, I
Yeah.
appreciate musicians, you know.
You know
So
what, bro?
yeah,
And see, in my household, we grew up listening to the blues, R&B, rap music wasn't really allowed.
mhm.
My old dude was like, yo, that yo,
Yeah, we
yo,
put
yo,
that.
yo, all that crap, he wasn't with it. But growing up to appreciate music, right? Then you know, you transition over to rap music. And what I took from the R&B was my ear to hear music.
Mhm. Yep.
And rap music, when it started off, it didn't start off with bands and things like that. It was the 808, the DJs
Yeah,
and
yeah,
stuff like that.
yeah,
But when
yep.
groups like Stetson Sonic dropped, some
Oh, that's my,
people like the way that Sally
yep.
walk. Hip hop bands was
Yep.
like, oh man, I'm sitting here listening to Stetson Sonic like, man, this shit, the roots are dope.
Oh, yeah, the roots are
you
dope. Yeah,
know,
that's
and I'm
roots
sitting
right there.
here like, man.
Yeah,
And see, back in the day, we had so many different styles of music to which to draw from.
yeah, yeah.
Nowadays, like you said, the artistry has been mass produced. So it's like a cookie cutter type of deal. Instead of letting people, like back in the day, you knew Too Short was from the Bay. You
Yep,
knew
yep,
Luke was from Florida. Then you had
yep.
the Houston rappers, Ghetto Boys, Big Mike. In New
Yep.
York, you had Big Daddy Kane, Heavy D, LL, and you knew it was regional. And those
Regional. Yep.
different sounds, when they came on, you know, my first rap beef that I ever noticed in life was MC Shan and Karis One when he
That's
came
one.
out
Yep.
with you know, The Bridge Is Over. And
It's over.
MC
Yeah.
Shan was like,
Yeah.
man, kill that noise, kill it, kill that noise. And I'm like, oh man, and they banging
Yes.
on wax like I'm
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
damn.
Yeah, we were in high school, like, what in the world just hit my ears, bro? You see what I'm saying? Like, I remember being on the bus and listening to the bridge is over, like coming down 7 Mile on the bus, like, man,
Man.
in the back of the
Dun,
bus and
dun,
my
dun,
boy
dun, dun,
playing it.
dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, you like as soon as everybody on the bus head just banging like this, like, you know what I'm saying? It was fun. And it was just like, you and then you had the beef with Big Daddy Kane and what's my man name? Uh oh my God, who was it'll come to me.
Was it
But
Rakim?
no, I don't think it was
Because I'm about to
Rakim.
say
No.
that was short lived. That wasn't really a
Yeah, yeah,
beef.
yeah. Yeah, Rakim, okay, so let me give you my top five. So Rakim is let me give you my top five rappers. All right. And I'm coming off the dome with this one. So I remember I used
Okay.
to have pack. So um let's go. I got Nas five. I
All
got
right.
um I got Nas at five.
Okay.
I got uh, I got I got let me see, Jay-Z at four. I got Tupac at three. I got Biggie as at two, and I got Rakim as one. Those are my
Oh, okay. So you
that's my
got
top five. That's my top five.
Rakim,
Yep.
Biggie, Pop, Jay Z, Nas. All right. I'm going to I'm going with Pac for my number one. And the
Okay.
reason
All right.
why,
I got them.
at that time, I could relate to him because it was
Yeah,
like I was going
Pocket.
through something
Yeah,
similar. You know, it
yeah,
was like, torn between being somebody that's cool with everybody and loving towards everybody, or do I want to bash this dude brains in, caught up with the wrong crowd?
yeah,
And it's like,
yeah,
when I
yeah,
hear people talk about him like, he wasn't no gangster, I'm like, do y'all realize when you grow up in the hood, you harbor so many different personalities inside of you because that's how you survive. You got to know what to be like. You actually got to be a psychologist when you're in the hood.
yeah.
Like when you
Yep, you
talking
do.
to the killer, you got to know how to survive in that
Yeah,
space. When you talking to regular folk, you don't want to bring that energy to the regular folk. So you're going to have different personalities based on who you kicking it with. And
yeah.
who you are, I guess, is where you gravitate, which one you gravitate to the most. So Pac, he was he was that for me, and I ain't gonna lie, I didn't like him when he first came out. I did not like this dude. And then my boy was like, you ain't like him because you was a rapper and you thought you was tough too.
Right, 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 right,
And
right.
so that's my number one. Biggie, I never gravitated to. He didn't make enough music anyway to, but his
A lot
flow,
of people say that. Yeah,
sweet.
a lot of people
He
say
got
that. A lot. I know a lot of people say that. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Rakim, I think Rakim has the best flow in hip hop history because he was the originator that I ain't no joke. I used to let the mic smoke, and now
oh
it's
yeah,
and he was just
yeah,
so smooth and he rap it to jazz.
yeah. He dropping the jazz. Yep,
You know
yep,
what I'm
yep,
saying? And
yeah.
Jay-Z, I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I never really gravitated to him, but then when him and Pac was into it, I was like, man, you out of here too.
Right,
Nas,
yeah.
you out of here.
Yeah, anybody go against Pac at this point in time can get it. You know what I'm saying? No,
Like
and
yo
I,
loud. But
yeah,
but my it was for me. I'm listening to like Big Daddy Kane. That's my dog. It's like
yeah. I mess with
it's
Kane.
hard for
Yeah,
me to put together a top five. Pac he's at my number one. He's
yeah,
he's there.
yeah.
But when it comes to just listening to music, man, Big Daddy, Heavy D, um, not a LL fan, because he
I
make
wasn't a big LL fan. I wasn't a big LL fan.
yeah, man. You know
If
you
I'm
know
being honest, I was hating on LL when I was younger. I'll be honest with you. Because you know what I'm saying, like all the girls I liked him. I'm like, this motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like this thing, you know what I'm saying, licking your lips all the time, nigga. You know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta lick your lips like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I was
come
hating
on,
on
bro,
him. I'll be
come on,
honest
bro.
with
Your
you, I
lips ain't
was.
that dry.
Yeah. Yeah, right, right. Right. Get some chapstick, nigga, for
They
real.
go cotton mouth, man. Come on, man. Stop licking. But but the thing is, the whole thing that I gravitated towards the West Coast when it came out, and it was
Yeah,
what took me to the West Coast was really the music they were using, man.
yep, they were.
Especially when Dre them came with Parliament, Funkadelic,
And they was using soulful
and
music. Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And they was into horns and you know what I'm saying? And it was like, I mean, it's hard. It is really hard to do a top five, like because
it is.
there's some people that I like. Like, I mean, how do I not put Kendrick in there? Like, and then who do I take out to put Kendrick in? You know what I'm saying? From this point. And so it's like I like to say I'm a Drake fan. I like Drake. I mean, I can't take anything away from Drake. Like Drake's body of work is his body of work. I like
Right.
J. Cole, Um, there's rappers that I really like. I mean, how could I not put Lauryn Hill in there? Like Lauren is my girl. Like as a lyricist, Lauryn Hill, the best they
Okay,
ever done it to me.
hold on, wait a minute, hold on. Okay,
Come on,
now, see
dog.
now you done said something. Now you done said something. So Missy Elliott, Lauren Hill.
You asking me who I'm taking, who I'm choosing?
Who you take? Cause
I'm going Lauren all day. Lauren,
okay,
Lauren hand down is the best. Is not even just woman, like not even female rapper. It's hard to even it was hard not to even put Lauren in my top five. But again, it's Lauren's body of work. Like Lauren didn't have enough body of work. You know what I'm saying? Like she has it, but Lauren is just different for me. Lauren is in a different
okay,
category for me. Like and of course it didn't help that I was crushing on her, you know what I'm saying? And she was coming up like Lauren was just beautiful to me. You know what I'm
right,
saying?
right.
Um, but that goes back to us having that conversation a while ago about I like intelligent women, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And her growth, who she has spiritually from this way, you know? So, and I, it's hard not to put Guru in there, you know what I'm saying?
Who?
Guru, yeah, that Guru was my guy, you know,
Oh
Guru
man,
from,
I ain't gonna lie,
yeah.
man. Rest in peace to that homie, man. But I
Mm.
could not when he dropped that song "Dwick." I was like, what the fuck is he talking about? And I was living on the East Coast at the time, man. So I'm getting a heavy dose of just
Yeah,
East
just over
Coast
and
and
over.
go-go music. I'm like, man, what the fuck is this shit, man? You know, the audio too with gears
Yeah,
and I'm like
yeah.
milk. I'm like, but I gotta rock with you. I mean, Lauryn Hill, dope, is dope. I just
Okay, well,
think
who do you
that
think?
Missy Elliott
Yeah, I mean, Missy though,
does. She just writes, produce, and and she has a flair and flavor to herself too. And
she
and,
does.
and there's been some dope females. You had Yo Yo, MC Light,
Okay, so who
Queen
would you say one?
Latifah, huh?
Okay, so okay, let me actually let's come sooner. I know I'm cutting you off, and I'm sorry
No,
about
no, no,
that.
good.
But this hip hop we talking about, from this point, like you don't got me open now on that. All right, so who is one of the dopest female rappers that you like? That was like that you I guess you were starting to run off your list that way anyway. But I Lil Kim is probably one of the dopest
Oh
MCs to
man,
me. I'm gonna be
she,
honest with you. Like Lil Kim, man, if people go back and listen to some stuff that Lil Kim really
yeah,
was rapping about and the way she was rapping about it now, take away all the stuff now with her personal stuff as far as
yeah, yeah,
like,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
the rest of that
No, we
type of
just
stuff.
going about strictly talent.
It was going strictly talent. Man, Kim got some verse and some bars on some stuff. Like when she jumped on that Quiet Storm with what's the name them with what's my man?
Oh,
What's the name of
Mob
that group?
Deep.
Mobb Deep. This female rapper came on and killed it. Like her verse and that line, I mean, her whole verse on that song was like, what the hell? You feel me? Like this girl is sweet. And I don't think she gets the props that she really deserves as a female rapper in hip
Her
hop. I mean,
personal
a
life
lot.
overshadows her work.
Exactly. Yeah, I think
Yeah,
people, oh, yeah, exactly. You said it perfect, bro. That is exactly what has happened,
yeah,
unfortunately, from that point. But I think as you're right, our generation, when the West Coast dropped, being in the Midwest, it just we just gravitated towards that. You see what I'm saying? Like, and that was just like, wait a minute, okay, what's coming out the West Coast at this point in time? The West Coast had at that point started smashing the East Coast. It really
yeah,
did. You know what I'm saying? It really did, for real, man. And it wasn't until really Biggie put the East Coast back on from
yeah.
that point. He really did because after that, man, everybody who was coming out the West Coast was like, they was just dropping, man. And
Man, they
like you said, it
jumped
was
on that. They
the
jumped on that Boosie Parliament Funkadelic work. That G Funk. That
and that's what
funk
and that's
just.
us. And that's that whole Detroit. Like I heard Prince say something one time. They was asking Prince, why do you open up? He said that he opens up every one of his tour dates. Whenever he went on tour, he opens up in Detroit. And they was like, why do you open up in Detroit first? He was like, because Detroiters, they know music. And if I know if they get it and it drops in Detroit and it works in Detroit, then I know I can take it. It's gonna work wherever else I go. He was like, that's the city that they understand music. And I think and I think it's more than just the Motown thing. I think for us, it's a sound that because we're in the middle of the country at this point, we can kind of understand and accept, music, but we understood artists, like the work that people went in as artists. So like you said, to when the West Coast picked up a lot of like the Parliament Funkadelic and like that was the sounds that we were on, like with people with instruments, and then Drake coming in with horns and this sound and that did taking this off of this, you're like, oh, that's okay, you brought that in. Okay, dang, you know what I'm saying? So now it's just getting the right voice on top of that. You know what I mean? So yeah, man, it's a dope that whole thing. Like I said, man, back in the day with Spice One, and then you had E40 them and Sprinkle Me, and
Man,
I was coming up in that time. I'm like, what the hell?
when Spice dropped that murder track with MC8. Oh, hold
Oh
on,
yeah.
hold on. What people don't realize is they give Eminem all the credit for Detroit being put on the map for rap. But remember, the boss dropped with
Yep.
Spice One, and she ate
Yep.
that shit up.
Eat that shit up. Yes, she did. Yep.
She she,
Yep.
she
Yeah. Yeah. See yes, she did. The boss ate that. But what's so unfortunate for us is that our rappers to really come up, they had to leave Detroit to do it.
yeah,
And that was the part that was really messed up because
yeah,
it's like they but they gravitated towards the West Coast in order to
yep,
do it.
yep.
But you know, because I mean, you just got some, like somebody we don't give props to in Detroit enough is Royce the 5'9". Like Royce is sweet, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I
Okay,
like Royce. You know what I'm saying? I like Royce a lot. I just don't think he's ever got the props he deserved to me as an artist. You know what I'm
okay.
saying? And I don't think that the world's really ready for him in that way. But again, he had to leave that they had to leave Detroit in order to. And I think that it just shouldn't be that way, man. I think now it's different. I think now it's
Yeah,
different.
with the internet, you don't, because
Yeah.
remember back in the day, you had to leave because the music industry was in New York and in LA.
LA.
And
Yep.
now, man, you
Yeah.
got the internet. Me and you can sit right here, do a song, and it can go viral, and we can make some money off of it.
Yeah. But then after that, it's like, but it goes back to the artist. Like, what are you following that up with? What are you coming back
Yeah,
up with that on? You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, man, I think the state of hip hop now, I think it's pretty cool. I think you got it's I like the fact that the internet now can introduce different artists that, we know that it's all about capitalism. And
mm-hmm.
what has happened is just that, like they said, you had these conglomerates start to buy up all these radio stations. And so now you just put these songs on repeat. And so it's like, okay, if that's what's hot and they think that's what people want to hear, and that's why we get in our communities, the same old type of stuff, you know, fuck this girl, promiscuity, do this, all this type of stuff, shoot
Yeah.
somebody up, drive your Maybach, sell drugs, do this type of stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Not sell
And
drugs, take drugs, lean,
yeah,
ecstasy.
right, right. Yeah, it's take drugs. You know what I'm saying? Everybody, and you're absolutely right on that. It's like stay high, all the rest of that type of stuff. And then those the hits. And if you constantly telling that and repeating that over to people, you don't have what we had in our time. We had conscious rappers. You know what I'm saying? You had anybody from Common, you know. To be honest with you, when I was coming up, I was a huge X Clan fan too. You know what
Oh
I'm
my
saying? Like
God. You-
group, man. You know what I'm saying? Because it was talking
brother
about we was
J,
in
brother
Africa.
J, brother J.
We had the African medallions on. You didn't wear jewelry. You know what I'm saying? You had the African medallion
Yep.
on. You know what I'm saying? And you was talking about Black Power, man. And it was just like it was very empowering from that point. I don't know who's out here saying that now. Like, you know what I'm saying? And that was commercial. Like no one's saying that. You feel me?
No. You know what,
So
man? This guy named Dave Blunt, man, I think he said one of the most ignorant things I've heard in years. So they were asking, he's like 25 years old, and they were asking his perspective on Kendrick's music. You don't have to like Kendrick. That ain't that's your preference.
yeah,
But when he said, "Man, we ain't into that black power empowerment shit," man, he's like, "Man, I'm 25, man. I'm into drill music and sliding on niggas," and I'm like, "Bro, that's what's wrong, man. We got too much
yep,
of that. It's okay to have that music, but you need a balance in your life. I ain't gonna lie, man. When I work out, you know,
yeah.
I hit some Scarface. We don't talk to police, and I ain't
Oh
even in the game
man.
no more.
Now
I
you got
just,
me feeling bad because I didn't put Scarface on my top. That's my guy. And I'm like, you got me feeling bad now because I'll take Scarface out of that because
hey,
that's
come
my
on, man.
guy.
Scarface got a body of work that's crazy by
Yeah.
himself.
Did you see
You
that
know.
tiny desk with him?
Yep, bruh. He killed that.
He
He
killed that,
killed
didn't
that.
he, bro?
He
Didn't he,
killed that.
man? He got a pretty good uh interview out there. I was watching some things on. But it's nice to see guys that we looked up to as rappers and now we getting older to see some of the stuff that they've gone through and matured and where some of that music was coming from, some of the pain and their life stories from this way in time. And it's like, dang man, like we really were out here dealing with the same stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, we really were out
Yeah.
here dealing with a lot of the same stuff, man, a lot of the same pains and stuff like that. And we thought that money was going to make it better, but we found out for a lot of these guys, money made it worse, you know? because
bro.
you can't hide from it. It's
Try,
messed up, man.
trying to live that rap life when we were younger. Like when I was younger, man, it was like, you know, I thought I had to, because I was into the rap. I was producing me. Man, I still got my studio upstairs. I got all the equipment upstairs, man, in my house, man.
I forgot all about that you were doing that. I remember that. I remember I think we was hooping one time and you was saying like, yeah, I'm gonna leave and I gotta go to the studio or something. I'm like, but I
Man,
wasn't surprised that when you said that, when you just brought it up, I'm like, do remember you was going through that part when you was rapping from
man,
that.
I
That
wanted, I wanted to, I wanted to get out there and compete with the world with the lyrics and whatnot, man. But unfortunately, I took on the mindset that you had to be in the streets. You got to live your lyrics. You got to live them.
most of the
And
dudes wouldn't.
it's like looking back on it. If I can go back to 18-year-old me and
Man,
just sit him down, man, and was like, hey, man, hey, let me tell you something, young man. Hey, man, your father is smarter than what you think he is. Listen to him. Because I think the worst thing in my life was not listening to him. And I'm not taking anything from my old bird. My old bird, man, she was there. She was always there for me. But I turned my back on my old dude. And the things he was trying to teach me, I turned my back on him, then wind up going through the very things he tried to steer me away from. And the one thing my old dude told me, man, that let me know that I was a major screw up when I was younger was when we started talking again.
hmm
He said, "Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you, man." He said, "I'm shocked I'm shocked that you still here." He's like, "I didn't ever think you were gonna go to jail." He said, "I think you'd be dead by now at the rate you was
wow,
moving, and in the direction you was going in." He said, "Man," and he said the thing that made me realize that I'm still a kid at heart, even though I'm old, man, older. When he said, "Man, but I'm proud of you, man. You are a man." He said, "You grew up to become the man that I thought you'd be."
wow,
And that right there, man, that meant the world to me because for so long, I'm telling everybody I hate him. I hate my dad. He ain't this, he ain't that. And then, no, all my dad was a no nonsense guy that spoke in reality terms. He didn't do the what ifs. He didn't do, you know, imagine this. He told you, bruh, outside are people that don't want you to succeed. Sherrod, outside, it's dangerous outside. And the worst thing I started doing was drinking. When I
hmm
started drinking, bro, and our, you know, man, we grew up in the same hood, so you knew over here, man, everybody was doing every fucking thing over here, man. So it was like I'm drinking. You catch up with this person, that person, and next thing you know, bro, my father had lost control of me.
yeah,
Well, I
yeah,
lost control of me, you
yeah,
know,
yeah.
and I thought that was part of the music too, man. That was gonna make me authentic. That was, you know. But if I could go back to 18-year-old me, man, it was like, yo, man, you could have took your artistic skills and did this instead of this. You probably would have went straight ahead and wound up doing more with it. But I'm gonna be honest. Now that I survived what I survived, I wouldn't change anything in the world because I got a
That,
message.
yeah,
You know what I'm
that part.
saying?
It made you who you are right now, the man that you
Yeah.
are, right? Like we're no longer boys. Like
No.
seriously, like you know what I mean? In so many ways from that way, not just from age, not just from height, not just from all the rest of that stuff. Like there's a maturity that has taken place for us,
Yep.
and you're absolutely right. I think we were talking about this a couple weeks ago about like, the conversation I had now with my 54-year-old self, like if I how what would I say to my at that point, like my 20 something year old self or something like this. And it would just really be have patience with me. Like, you know what I'm saying? Because really, man, a lot of stuff I was doing and we was in the hood, I was just scared. If I'm being straight up honest with you, it wasn't that type of fear, like, oh, it's not a
Yeah.
cowardly fear. It wasn't that. It was a fear of just that the fear of the unknown. Like I don't know which way this is gonna go, but this is what everybody in my neighborhood is doing. And I don't
Yeah.
want to, I'm afraid to not go that way because I'm afraid of being the outcast. You know what I'm saying? And I really want to be a
Mm,
part of it. You know what I'm saying? I want to
yeah.
be a part of this and everything else like that. Even though I know like hustling and selling dope, I knew that shit was wrong. You know what I'm saying? Like I
And
was
we
never
saw
a
what
big
was
drinker,
happening
but
to them as they were doing it.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? And you see it, you know what I'm saying? But it's that thing we always think that it's never going to happen to us. But when you now you lace in the fact of like hip hop into that for us was just that was our voice. That was
Yeah.
our hip hop was our like our soundtrack, you know what I'm saying, of coming up. And depending on which way you wanted to go with it, that's why you like you said, like that's why so many of us were so hurt when Tupac got killed. Because
Yeah.
Tupac represented us, like for real, for us as men at this point, come up
Yeah.
in urban environment because it was confusing. Like we were conscious at the same time because we came from good households, but we also were, like torn in between like wanting to be tough and hard and everything else like that. And it's like, well, which one is going to win out? Because it
Yeah.
is that point, like, well, which one is going to win out from this way in time? And so it's like, my boys, I got to be this for my boys. And I also got to be this person, like, oh, we going to ride on a nigga? Let's go. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
But underneath, I'm thinking, like,
It ain't
man,
right.
I really kind of want to get out the car. You feel me? But I
Yeah.
can't get out the car because if I get out the car, then in my neighborhood, now I'm gonna be the dude that's soft. But there is a part of me that's like, okay, now we ride on this point and we laugh and joke about it and this, and this. And you go back and I mean, I was smoking weed. I wasn't a drinker that much. I really could never really drink that much, but I would smoke the shit out some weed, back then. And then it's like, oh, well, that was cool. But underneath all that, I knew it wasn't. You feel me?
Right.
So you kind of had this hip hop soundtrack along the way of like, okay, I can listen to this music for this. Like you said right now, most of the time I'm in the gym working out, I'm listening to some like, it's most of the time I'm listening to some old school hip hop. I'm listening to some old school rap, something that's just gonna get me motivated and everything else.
Mm-hmm.
It's a couple young stuff laced in there, like I like a couple future stuff, you know what I'm saying? I like some stuff, but I can only take so much of that, you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And then once
Yeah.
I'm in the car, once I'm done with the gym, that got me through my workout. And I'm on some other, let me just kind of calm my, get my
Hey.
level calmed down here, you know what I'm saying? Because I don't want that energy outside of the gym, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I need that to get through these reps. I need that to push this weight. I need that to do this and everything else from this point. But man, it's amazing how powerful music is, and I don't think we
Yeah.
talk about that enough. Like, it
Well, you
really
know
is
what?
powerful.
Music is frequencies, and the vibrations that we, like they say, when they say, hey, he's at a low vibration. When you listen to gangster music and where it brings you, it's a low vibration. Listen to the quality of music. A therapist has said, if you want to follow the destruction of the black community, listen to where the music was back in the day and where it is now. Remember, back in the day, in the 70s when we grew up, everything was about love. Remember Teddy Pendergrass was like, wake up everybody, no more sleeping in bed, no more backwards thinking. It's time for
Like,
moving ahead. You know, Que Sera Sera. We had all this music about loving one another, being a team. Now look
yeah,
at what happened now. Fuck this bitch, fuck that nigga. Um,
yep.
all
Get
the
your money up.
dating gurus online are talking about, they're really dividing and breaking up the family instead of telling them, hey, your man got 50,000, you make 50,000, y'all make 100,000 together, and y'all can build your empire from there. But now they're saying, hey, your man should be making 300,000 and letting you do whatever. And it's like
Yep.
the music is telling us what direction we're going in. And that's why I
Agree.
like this new direction with the Kendrick Lamar Drake beef, because it seemed like one era, like when he said watch the party die.
Yeah,
It wasn't just a song to me.
yeah, I agree.
It's
I
like, you
agree.
know what? The
Yeah,
party lifestyle that all these rappers tell us, because I live that party life. And guess
yeah,
what? The party is no different from 1989 up all the way to now. It's still the same old shit. Drinking, fighting,
yeah,
destruction, people getting pregnant, don't know who the father is. It's all the degenerate shit that it used to be, and it's still here. Now, I ain't saying don't have fun.
yeah,
I'm all for fun. But now we got to know how to prioritize, and we need to teach our kids at a younger age how to prioritize. I I didn't listen. I
Yeah,
was
me either.
told, I was given the direction to the yellow brick road, bruh. And I said, no, I'm gonna walk through this thorny path over here.
Cause it's fun. Look fun, right?
Right? And if I survive, I could talk shit with the homies. You know, because
Yep.
when you sit around talking shit with the homie, you know, remember back in the day, party gets shot up, boom, boom, boom. Next thing you know, we all talking about, man, yes, you, I wasn't scared. And we all on the floor like, oh shit.
Right, exactly. Right, right. Nigga, you was scared, like, no, I wasn't. What you talking about, dog? I was like as if it was a badge of honor. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, real. And you're right, though, bro. We had the blueprint. You know what I'm saying? And so
Yep.
I'm grateful, man, at this point in time in my life, to be honest with you, that when I look back on, I feel like, man, I'm in my 50s, so obviously we both in our 50s. I feel like I've lived 5 lifetimes. I do. You know what I'm saying? Or more from that point,
Yeah.
honestly, because coming and maneuvering your way through this urban environment, man, from the hood from this point in time, it gives you some hell of a lessons about resilience. But it's ways that I could have made it a lot more easier for myself.
Yeah.
Now I look back on that and be like, damn, I could have, I wish I'd have made that a lot more easier for myself with some of the decisions and choices that I made. And my parents knew. They told me. I didn't have. We had parents that, like you and I talked about, that told us the right way because they experienced it. Like my mom used to always say, "Ain't nothing new out there. Ain't nothing new." And you like, man, my mom,
It
she don't
ain't.
know what the fuck she's talking about. This shit is different. It ain't like how she grew up. But she was right. Ain't nothing new from this point in time.
Nope.
Like you said, it's the same stuff. It's the same thing at the party is the same thing at the party. You drinking, you getting high. If you a guy, you go in there see who you about to fuck. Who you fucking tonight. From this point in time, you trying to do this type of shit. You have an unprotected sex, a party gets shot up, y'all think it's funny, you laugh and everything else, and now woo woo, and you're wearing these different hats,
Yeah.
and it's like, but you don't have the chance to be like, well, how do I get out of this? Well, your parents told you a way how to get out of it.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of like, but that takes some courage on your part in order to do, because our friendships are so important to us at that age. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? It's more important than what our parents are really telling us. You know what I mean? So, but again, with all that said, like you said, I wouldn't change it because of what it made me into the man I am today.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like now, who I am as a man, like you and I as friends growing up, we maneuvered through this, man. You know what I'm saying? Like we came through it. We survived it. And now we're able to sit down and talk about it, which we have so many friends who are not here that you and I
Oh
both
man.
know who are no longer here anymore. You know what I'm saying? Who didn't survive it that way. So I'm grateful, man. I'm grateful from that point, man. I'm thankful to God for that. Like, that could have easily been me, bro. You know what I'm saying? With us drinking and smoking and shit like that, we could easily be out here holding up a sign on the corner saying, we'll work for food or some shit like that. Like we get that. And when you
Yeah.
see that, it's a very thin line when you could be like, you know what, man, like I'll knock that dude for doing that because I know like, man, that could have easily back shit. That could have been me. You know
You
what I'm
know
saying?
what?
Anything could happen, you know?
I think you know what? Just thinking back, I think what I would tell my 18-year-old self, bruh, is it'll take you a lifetime to build a great name, legacy, image, build yourself into a loving individual, but it takes a split second to ruin it all. So that's
Yeah.
why you always got to be cognizant of the decisions that you make. You got to be cognizant of where you are at all times. Like back in the day, when I would see a gang of dudes in front of the store, me and the homies, we going in.
Yep.
Whatever's
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Ain't
And
nobody stopping us from doing what we gonna do. Right.
and
Exactly.
you know what stores they are around here. It's like, man,
Oh yeah.
we
Yep.
going. But now,
Yep.
if I see a gang of dudes, I'm
Yeah, yeah. When I go
I
to
ain't
the
got
gas
time.
station, yeah, I ain't got time for it. I'm the same way now. Like if I go to a certain part with a gas station over somewhere, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, sometimes you pull up and the dude's like, "What up, Unc? This and this and this," but I'm like, why would I even put myself in that situation now? You know what I mean? You think you just more thought provoking with it, and you're right though, Gerard, man. I've learned so much now in my life that this is what makes this powercast so, but no pun intended, so powerful. Honestly, man, because as black men, and we came from where we came from, this environment, to talk about it and to be honest about it. I think people need to understand that. Like, I would also tell my 18-year-old self to choose wisely who the fuck you fuck. Honestly, like really feel choose wisely who the fuck you laying down with. Honestly, because that matters. That energy matters, man. When you giving your energy and that person giving their energy to you, be careful with that. Be very, very like you said, be very cognizant of that aspect of it, man. And know because you have value with this. It's so many lessons now that I would talk about from that point. And like, and choose wisely, man, of who you decide to be with and date, because that person, man, can either make or break you in some ways,
Yeah.
you know. And so I've learned that, man. I've learned that. And so I don't know. I think we live in a world now. I was just having this conversation with a friend of mine about integrity. And honestly, Sherrod, it took me some years to learn that, bro. I thought that
Oh yeah.
you hear the words, but I was like, damn, what is that? Whatever from this point in time. I mean, it's the same people check boxes of like if you ask somebody about anything, they say, well, a good relationship takes loyalty, trust, and, communication. We check boxes in that point. But what does it really mean for real? For real? Like, is that really what I want? You know what I'm saying? Is that really what I'm trying to do? Like, you know what I'm saying? I know how I can be in relationships and stuff like that. Like, am I really holding up integrity? Am I really a man of my word for real? For real? Am I really that? And that shit is deep. But I want to keep it in the context of hip hop because it was a lot of hip hop records that did teach us about integrity. You see what I'm saying? Like you think about KRS-One, like that
Oh
brother was married during the time he was doing that. You know what I'm saying? He had a
man.
wife, and he
Remember,
and he always bigged up his wife. And we was young, and it's like this man is married. You know what I'm saying?
and
And he wasn't
she
no
wasn't the typical video vixen looking wife.
Yes, yes, exactly. And he loved her and she was there around. So we had those examples even through hip hop that it wasn't like you said, I wasn't calling my wife no bitch or anything else like that. This is my wife. So you had these rappers who were like they had lives and they was married. And those were examples. But we just didn't take those examples. I like the other side of it. It's like, no, dude, we're gonna be with this and we're gonna do that type of stuff. But looking back on that, man, it's those are conversations I try to have with myself now, try to have with my son, and choose wisely, man. Choose wisely.
Man,
Yeah,
choose wisely. Take your time, because
yeah,
you know what people don't understand is, and we have such a bad narrative towards men, especially black men nowadays. It's like you choose the wrong woman, your whole legacy can be destroyed, right? Because not only when you deal with the wrong woman when it comes to your children and she take your children from you, guess what? She take your grandchildren, your great grands. So you lose the branches to the tree that you helped plant, right?
agree.
And so
Yeah.
when I talk to young men, it's like, bro, yeah, she got a fat ass, but so do
Hmm.
all these other people. You can go to Walmart and buy one now. You can buy
Yeah.
titties. You can.
Right, right,
All these
exactly.
women look like clones of one another. But
Yep.
how does she treat you? You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
Does she respect you? Does she
Yep.
reciprocate? I tell guys, it's three things off the rip, basic foundational, basically what you need for the foundation of your relationship. She has to be able to reciprocate your efforts, your love, the whole nine, right? She got to be able to appreciate the things
Yeah.
that you do. And guess what? You're not a mind reader. She has to be able to initiate as well. You know, it's not all the time where you got to be the one to say, "Oh, she's not feeling well. Let me go over and hug her." Sometimes, bro, you need a hug too.
Too.
You know what
Yep.
I'm saying?
Yeah. A
Sometimes you
lot of
need
times.
somebody to come
A lot
up
of times.
and just tell you things are going to be okay. I
Yep.
got your
Exactly.
back. Because
Yep.
it's nothing less manly than a man that has to pretend that he's got it and he doesn't.
Wow.
And I've done that before. I've done it to the point, bro. Um, my pride got in the way, especially when I first started my divorce. Broke. money, and it's I laugh at it now. It's like when I was fighting for custody of my children, I actually thought it was going to take some time, so that I was going to get, I was okay. I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna get the house ready. It was like, okay, Mr. Cohen, you got them this weekend. I'm like, damn, I ain't got no money.
Right. Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
like, oh snap. And when I had to start taking hand-me-down clothes for my children, bro, you talking about somebody hurt. I went from hustling and having it. I'm working and hustling. So my whole my little slogan was, I'm gonna make what Uncle Sam take. You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
I'm
Right.
hustling, and I got it. Next thing you know, I go through that, and I go from having some money to like,
Well,
bro,
yeah.
I've got some checks, and I've saved them. It's $35 on a check that I worked a 40-hour week, making decent money. You know what I'm saying? And the funny thing is, was my my son and my daughter was going through some boxes of mine, and they were itty bitty, man. So my son picked up the check, and it was a direct deposit, and then he
Right.
says, "This is not a check," you know, but
Right.
it was only $35 on that check, because I was getting garnished, child
Yep.
support, the whole nine. So when I talk to these young men now, I said, bruh, before you have children, make a list of things you need to talk about that's important to you. What's the education going to be? How are we going to discipline? How do we feel about sexual orientation? Or how do you feel about religion? All these things. You got to discuss these things. In order for you to love your child, you got to love them before you have them. So
Right.
that way you choose the right partner.
Yeah. I
And
agree.
I'm not gonna lie, man. I don't beef with all my children's moms, but where I messed up was, I'm not. I you know I went through issues with them, and I wish I didn't. And I wish I had children with just one woman
Me too. Yeah.
instead of multiple. I never thought that I would have children with a bunch of women,
That's true. Yeah.
but
Yeah. You
I
don't
got
think.
out here drinking, living a life, and being reckless and irresponsible. So my 18-year-old self, I'm like, bruh, all that glitter ain't gold. Oh, that's a fat ass. Oh, that's this. Bro, you playing with your life.
Yeah.
So,
Man, I love what you said. That's, man, I'm on point with you 100% on that one. I mean, honestly, you nailed it, because that's exactly, I feel the same way. I mean, I got women with two children, and and through the rest of that stuff, man, it's like, I don't regret. I mean, my oldest is with and I told, like, we working it out now. You know what I'm saying? Working out that situation now to get back together. And just probably the woman that loved me the most, who knew me the most. You know what I'm saying? Like, I met her when I came home at 24. And then me and her broke up, and then I was single for a couple of several years, and then I met my ex-wife. Two good, solid women from this point in time. But when I look back on that stuff, it's like what you said. If I could do it all over again, I would just want to have a child, have children with one woman, um, someone who I knew, like you said, those things. Does she love you? Does she respect you? Does she appreciate you? Like, those things really, really matter. And I think
big
when
time.
you get away from all the rest of that stuff about, yeah, our first attraction is a physical attraction, and that's fine. But when you start peeling back those layers of understanding, like, who is this person? Like, like you said, what's your spiritual ideology towards things? What's your thing about, about, like, two family households, two income, whatever it may be, whatever, y'all and you guys have to talk about it. And then, you doesn't mean you're gonna not have issues and problems along the way, but those are just gonna be minor things. You know what I'm saying? Because I think a
Yeah,
person who really loves you and really believes in you, and it goes both ways, that you have love and respect for her just as much as she has love and respect for you.
yeah.
I think that's where that part of integrity comes in at, because we both have to have this integrity, right? Like, I get it. I'm the type of person, I'm from the hood. I'm a type of dude. I'm not necessarily really I'm sensitive in some ways, but if I fuck up, I'm down with that. Like, you can get in that ass. Yep, you got every right to get in that ass and yell and scream, because I deserve it. But we're
Right.
gonna put some pointers on that as well too, though. right? Like a woman knows, I don't have to tell you to put the boundaries on it. After a while, she know like, okay, I made my point. I said what I needed to say. And he feels me on this point. It's no need for me to continue to belittle him in that way because he's still a man and he's still my man, right?
Right.
So also you got the ability to talk to him that way, but you also have the ability in those words to build him back up as well too, and make him look at some stuff and be like, yeah, shit, she right. I gotta get better at that shit. You see what I'm
Yep.
saying? And I gotta, she right about that, and vice versa. The same thing when with that man from to his woman, like, okay, babe, like I was expecting this and this and this and dot 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 dot, and I wanted you to do these things, but you didn't say that. It was like I was talking to a friend of mine last night, and I was telling her, I said, we was having this conversation, and she said, I said, I've never been with a woman, if I and I don't want to say never because never is um so permanent. But I'm gonna say what I don't remember. That a woman really apologized. Like a woman who could come to you and say, "Hey, you know what, babe? I really apologize to this. You didn't deserve this, this, and this, and this."
Right.
I don't think I've ever been with a woman who said that, whoever came to me and said, "You know what, about really being apologetic." I think if you bring it up and we have a conversation about, well, you made me feel like this, and she may say, "Well, I'm sorry, I'm sorry that you felt like this." But it's never been a situation that I felt
Or they
like if
just
something
came
happened,
to you.
that she came to me and
Yeah.
said, "You know what? Hey, you know what, babe? You didn't deserve this type of energy towards this and this and this." And and see, that's a level of maturity that it takes a lot of times with a woman saying, "You know what?" Because then and it not be a say, not being an issue like, "Well, I'm sorry, this and this and this." But if you wouldn't have done this and this and this, then this wouldn't have happened. It's like, well, that kind of just kind of throws out the damn apology. You know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
you got to take some accountability for your actions. And I think that's a big thing, man. It sounds so simple, but I don't think a lot of women know how important that is to a man. Like, when a woman can take that accountability. And the same thing, you want your man to take that accountability that, listen, man, I fucked up, babe. You didn't deserve that. You didn't deserve, you really did not deserve that. And and not even just I'm apologize. I'm sorry for that. Like I'm genuinely sorry for it. And I know
Yeah.
that,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, I think that's, we went someplace at that point, but obviously it needed to go there.
Yeah,
So yeah.
man. You know, I know we started out speaking about hip hop, and this is all hip hop because hip hop deals with emotions, it deals with relationships, it deals with life, and what we did was continue the conversation outside of hip hop in its broader sense. Hip hop is all about. It's not just music. It's not just clothing. It's our culture. It's the voice we talked about. That voice, and we had voices, like you said. KRS-One was, hey man, it's my woman. I'm I'm
Yep.
talking about her. Like Kendrick just said, it's cool to have one woman. It's tricky out here right now, you know,
Yep. Facts.
and and and
Yep.
and I believe that it's room for everything in hip hop. We got to have balance. It's balance because let's be honest. We all got this little ratchet side of us. What I'm saying that this guilty pleasure of listening to this and this and this. Hell, Eddie Murphy, Raw Delirious. Hey man, loved
Sure.
it. Hey,
Sure.
love Bill Cosby's comedy too. Even though he
Yep.
didn't curse. And look at Rakim,
Yep.
known street lyricist, didn't curse.
Yep.
You see what I'm saying?
Yep.
So our culture, when people say black folks don't have culture, I'm like, what do you mean? Our culture is worldwide. You dress like
Wow.
us. You talk like us. You walk like us. You know,
Yeah.
when you hear like the Africans say, "Oh, you black Americans don't have culture," bruh, you wouldn't be wearing what you wearing if we didn't have
Back to
culture.
what- Exactly. Yeah, the whole
You
world
know,
wants to be black. It's
yeah,
like I
we
heard, what's the name say that one time? Man, it's his name. The one, it's the one comedian that made this one point. His name will come to me in a minute, but he was like, everybody wants to be black, but nobody wants to be black. And what that
It sounds like
what he
something
means,
Cat Williams would say.
yeah, but it was God, what is my man name? He used to be on the Dave Chappelle show a couple of times, but he's really popular, older guy. But it makes sense because it's like everybody wants to be black because you want the culture of black, you want the coolness of black, you want all the rest of that.
You don't want
But
the
when it comes
problems of black dog.
that that part, you don't want the problems of black. You don't want the what takes to get that is what takes for you to get that, you have to go through that other side of it. You got to know what it's
Yeah.
like to really be black. You just want to be able to put on the clothes and dress and walk. I mean,
And
we
talk
grew
the
up in
lingo.
Detroit. Yeah, so we grew up in Detroit. You look at every Arabic person, like every Arabic man wants to be black. Like our whole culture with them is being, it's like everyone wants to be with hip hop and
Had
be
that
black
swag, that walk,
and
you
had
know.
that swag, very much so. But you don't know what it takes to get there
Yeah.
with the like that comes from an authentic place. We not front when we doing that. You know what I'm saying? It's like black men had that type of swag because it's like you don't try to take everything away from me, and yet here I still stand. You know what I'm
Here
saying?
I am.
You know what I'm saying? I'm standing right here. I can still talk about it. I'm gonna be cool with it. But you don't know, like what I'm rocking is these, this other. It wasn't about money from this point in time. It was about who we were. It's our swag from this way.
Yeah.
And it's like if we ever get this money, this is what I'm gonna do with this car. This is what I'm gonna do with with these gym shoes. Like how back in the day we used to take out the shoestrings that we had in there and get the big fat laces and put in there. You see what I'm saying? Like it was hip. It was our culture, and that just came across so many places. But they don't know the reason why that was for this point, you know.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you can't try to steal the culture when you don't know what everybody's trying to be the culture. So that's the part that I've learned now. With we could talk about this at another time. Why it's so important for us as black men. We're the standard, and we got to put that and know that we are the standard. Like, okay, I'm gonna take this a little bit deeper for me. We are God chosen people, chosen people. I truly, truly, really believe that. We live in a capitalistic society that has tried to kill us in every single way. That's why they don't like us. It's like, how do these keep surviving? You see what I'm saying? We don't put drugs in their community. We don't try to kill them with,
Syphilis.
farm, right, exactly, right. Diseases. We don't try to kill them off. We don't try to lynch them. We don't try to shoot them. We don't try to lock them up. But somehow they take all of that pain and everything, and it's like, yo, here we are. What's up?
And
We
they
come
turn it
out
to a
the
song.
yeah, is that right? Is that like right now, like all the stuff that's going on, like y'all taking this from black people. And next thing you know, we online learning like, okay, what's the new hustle? And like these motherfuckers just can't, you know what I'm saying? Like, what the hell?
Look, they don't
Because
know when to lay down and just die.
exactly right, exactly right, right. Just die, like just die. And black folks are like, no, man, like we are naturally gonna survive. Like I like a line Puffy said years ago, like, man, throw us out in the jungle, man. We're gonna come out in that boy, you know what I'm saying, with some gators on and a fur coat. You know what I'm saying? Like they like, what the hell? How you come out of that? Like, hey man, we good. That's just who we are. And until we as I think it starts with us as
Yeah.
black men
We gotta recognize that.
when we as black men recognize that and show up from that way, man, it is so liberating and empowering from that way, bro. It is.
Well, you know what? Because I know you and I could talk about this shit all day long,
Yeah, we
man.
can go. Yeah,
And
yeah,
but I want to save stuff for our next videos coming up. But I want to let folks know out there, especially a young cats. I know this was supposed to be about hip hop, but I'm gonna put a email in a description. And you young guys out there, man, if y'all ever got questions, y'all want to know anything, man, send that. Either make it if you don't mind it being out, comment below. Put your concerns down, your questions, whatever you want to know. We're gonna try to get to those questions. We're gonna answer them to our best ability. If you don't want anybody to know who you are, it's going to be an email down below, and you can just send an email to us, and we'll get back to you, man. Because I want to start speaking to you young brothers out there to let y'all know, man, we love y'all, man. We wouldn't be out here talking to you the whole 9 yards and trying to get you to be better, and whether you direct it towards my man Phil or myself, man, we're gonna try to
yeah.
get back to you, man. Phil, you got anything you wanna add, bro, before we get out of here?
You just said it, man. That's the main thing right there, though, Shrar. It's just like, man, look, we just really want to be honest, man. This ain't no game. This ain't one of them type of. It's not a knock on anybody else that's doing anything or any podcast, but this ain't about, man, making no money off anybody, man. This is sincerely about us trying to say, listen, if you want the help, man, not even just help. Let's just talk, man. Let's just
Just
have
talk.
real honest conversations about, look, this is some of the stuff that I looked at in my life and I've experienced. And if I can give you any advice towards it, man, and it makes your life better, let's do it.
Just run with
Period.
it.
Run with it. Let's
All
run with
right,
it.
bro.
Brother, thank you, man. I always
No, man.
appreciate
Thank
it,
you as always.
man. You take care of yourself, brother. And I will definitely be talking to you soon, bro.
Yes, sir. Hey, man, it's 2025. We about to rise and fly. Peace.